Hey, players. How y'all doing out there? I'm so excited to have everybody here today. We have a very good show ready for you guys, and we have some really good stuff to unpack. And I am so excited to have my two guests here with us. We have a returning guest that's probably going to be a repeat offender here on Political Talk.
She sure is.
Story. So excited to have you here with me. And then we have my queen down here, Sakithia.
Hey, players. Okay.
I'm so excited to have you here, Sakithia. I'm so excited when you said yes. I knew you wasn't going to say no anyway, but I was like, yeah, I was so excited when she said she would come on. You guys, I'm so excited to have both of them here to have all this melanin and to talk and just have a good time. I know it's going to be a very good show. You guys, I wanted to talk to you first about Colorful Story. Colorful Story's got a lot of things going on over on her TikTok where she gives historical content as well as political and all sorts of things. She's coupled in with some new companies to promote some books. I saw that. Mm-hmm. She has her own bookshelf and some other things. I wanted to show you all if you're not following Colorful Story, you need to make sure you do that on TikTok. She's CF Story. On her Instagram and other platforms, she's Colorful Story. And I wanted to show you all one of my favorite TikToks that she did here recently that I really enjoy her content. And if you're not following her, this is going to make you want to follow her.
That's right. One thing about a colonizer, they're going to be their ancestors' wildest dream. It's giving Fugitive Slave Act 1793 vibes. Greg Abbott is talking about arresting people who are our political leaders that we voted for, who are fighting for our rights to vote in DC. He's talking about keeping them against their will so that he can suppress black and brown voters. It is very similar. It is not the exact, but it is very similar to the 1793 Fugitive Slave Act passed by George Washington. If you were caught housing a runaway slave, you could have been arrested. If you were caught trying to protect black and brown people and their voting rights, you could be arrested. So yes, Greg Abbott is a racist, and he is pushing racist policies like his founding fathers. And he has the nerve to use our tax dollars to build a wall that people can walk around. Boy, if you don't roll up out of here.
Okay, I love that TikTok. Yes, honey. Okay, I think I like that TikTok. When I saw it, I was like, well, first of all, her hair is giving me very much of everything. Number one.
Thank you.
And number two, I was like, press. I if I could have pressed like 75,000 times and also agree with you 75,000 times, I would have done it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I love the TikTok. I love all your TikToks, but that was one of my favorites that you did here recently. And also it goes with what we're going to talk about today. So tell us a little bit more, CF, about your new endeavors that you got going on and about your TikTok.
So right now I'm doing a partnership with Black History 365 to get the word out that there is indeed an initiative to get Black history taught into schools around America. It was a push in Texas out here to get Black History 365, the textbook, in the classrooms, and by the NAACP out here. And there has been a strong push. I've learned that some schools outside of Texas are now using that textbook as a part of their history. So I'm an affiliate with Black History 365. Their link is on my website, colorfulstory.com. That's my page at the bottom of the screen. You can type in colorfulstory.com and go to the section underneath books, and you'll see all of my affiliate links to the books that I discussed, as well as the Black History 365 book. I'm telling you, it is a history that we have never seen before when it comes to Black history. We get to see where our ancestors contributed to this country in ways that this country will never acknowledge. And I am so grateful for this book that even before they made me an affiliate, I was pushing this book for people to buy. And that's how I actually became an affiliate, because some of my followers were so excited to know that their history was finally being taught the correct way. And there was documentation to prove it. So I'm so grateful for y'all doing that, because now I'm a partner with Black History 365. Now that leads me to talk about the importance of the Democrats going to DC, which is blowing my mind, because if you follow me on TikTok, you know I criticize Democrats just like I criticize Republicans, because sometimes they playing a little bit too soft, and we are not playing soft with bigots and racists who are running the GOP right now, because they're making laws to disenfranchise our education as well as our voting rights. And so when the Democrats decided to say, okay, y'all going to use the filibuster against us, boom, two can play that game. Let us leave the entire state of Texas. Let us go to DC. Let's call out these Dems for playing footsie with the GOP, aka Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. I just want to say I am proud of the Texas Democrats. It is something that we need to see happen in other states as well, because the GOP are not playing. And I will say this, when it comes to our voting rights, if we do not vote, we can not only lose our right to vote, we can lose our right to citizenship, and we can lose our freedom, because once they start with voting rights, that's the 15th Amendment. They take the other Reconstruction bills away from us. It is literally a vote or die situation for Black people. And if you think it just impacts Black people, wait until they stop coming for us and they go for who's next.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I completely agree with that. I definitely think that this is something that should be happening in more than just Texas, right? Because at the end of the day, of course, they're not able to complete the voting with the Democrats leaving. And like how you were saying, as far as being just as hard on the Democrats as you are on the Republicans, I feel the exact same way, when it comes down to that. And I want to see this scope be even larger, because eventually they're going to have to come back. What is the end game here? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more states doing that. Baby, I live in Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
yes.
want to see more states do this. Get on the bus. The bus was looking extra cushy. You know what I'm saying? They was looking extra cushy. Get on the planes, whatever you got to do. I want to see this happening in more states. I think that's the only way that we'll be able to make real change.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Now, Sakith, y'all getting away from me because I didn't get to do my introduction of Sakithia.
I was ready.
I'm sorry.
You
took it out.
You were so excited.
Real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, calling them legislative fugitives and all this other stuff. I mean, come on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crazy.
Exactly. Now, so make sure you guys go and support CF Story, Colorful Story on all of the platforms. Make sure you guys go check out her bookshelf. I've done it, and I will be getting something. Very excited for you. I was very happy to see that. Now we have our friend down here, Sakithia, joining us. Miss Mouth Pop, motivation for that ass.
Oh, yeah. Look, I don't do much. I just get on this thing and curse and holler. That's all I do, child. You know what I'm saying? I don't do much. I just curse and holler. You know what I'm saying? You get with it or you can't. I don't know what to do.
When I first saw Sakithia, she made me cry, and she made me really look at myself and say, I have so many things to be thankful and happy about. Why am I so upset? Why am I so angry? Why, her TikToks are not only motivational, but you can go through her TikToks and feel motivated, but then you can get some laughs, in the next couple of TikToks. I feel like that's so important to have a healthy balance. And I feel like that's what Sakithia brings to TikTok. Her laughter, her motivation, her realness, it's real. When you go on a TikTok, I remember she had a TikTok where she talked about her mental health and not taking a shower. I wouldn't have never said that shit, but Sakithia said it, and it resonated with me because some of us may not feel that way.
Yeah.
I want to show you all one of my favorite TikToks that Sakithia does, and I had to pick one that I wasn't going to cry on because she makes me cry with some of the motivating TikToks. Baby, I just be crying, honey. So I want y'all to check this one out. And this is one of her most recent ones.
Baby, I'm not even going to hashtag this shit. If you see it, then it was meant for you. Let me tell you something. Regardless of whatever it is that you do, it's always going to be a motherfucker that's going to try to throw some salt on your shit. They going to talk about who you used to be, what you used to do, what you do now. Talk about who you think you are. Child, fuck you. You can tell a miserable motherfucker from a mile away, baby. They miserable. And then they got some shit that they want to say about you. Child, we don't care. We don't care what you have to say. Baby, as long as you know who you are, what you do, what you don't do, child, fuck them with they miserable motherfucking asses.
I love it. I love it.
I just want to say really quickly, like, this is, for a long time, I was not myself. For a long time, I did not accept a lot of different things about myself. And where my TikTok comes into play is that I know that a lot of us compare ourselves to other people. Tiffany, I know that when you hit me and said, we're going to be on political, you're going to be on political TikTok, but don't worry, we're going to go light, whatever. You know, some people might be like, well, shit, I can't be on there, you know, with Tiffany and C-Story. Oh my God, like she's so educated and different things like that. We're so quick to put our own selves down, right? So where my TikTok came into play is be who you are, all of you. Some people gonna rock with it, some people not gonna rock with it, but be your authentic self and be proud of who you are, regardless if you went to college, regardless if you didn't, regardless if you know what this word means or if you don't. Just be you. You know, and so that's what I try to do. I try to make a space where, number one, I could just be myself. Number two, I could be Black and talk about mental health and mental illness. I'm also a recovering drug addict. You know, a lot of people have our crackhead cousin, but we don't talk about him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I wasn't the crackhead cousin. I was like Whitney. You know what I'm saying? I was on the powder. Show me the receipts. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just giving a voice behind that to be able to talk about it. And there are a lot of people out there that feel bad about themselves based on the fact that they don't make this amount of money, that they didn't get to go to college, that they're not married, that they don't have children. No, baby, you got to celebrate all of you that is you. Now, I'm going to be able to have a little conversation up in here because, you know, I'll be watching the news. But also, I'm also here to learn as well, you know, and it's okay to learn from people and be inspired by people, but don't put yourself down because you think that you don't reach somebody else's level. We don't do it.
Absolutely.
Can I just say that I love her? I just love her rawness, her authenticity. Like, I wish that people would say, like, I can be who I am, whether I cuss, whether I'm not the most King's English speaking person. Yeah. Like, I speak my AAVE and I'm proud of it. And I stand in my truth and I can go toe to toe with anybody. Mm-hmm. I am who I am. And I love that so much about you, because I think that when it comes to our Blackness, we sometimes want to be so palatable and acceptable to groups that ain't even on our level. And I love that you bring it and you come authentic and true to who you are and don't ever change. When you walk into a room, God gave you that light and you will keep shining the way that you are. So I love every single thing about you and what you do and how you do it.
Thank you. Because I feel like there's so many of us that do our thing. We are authentic to ourselves and we do it in a different way. Like I was telling Tiffany earlier, I've got lots of messages from people to tell me that how I speak is ghetto, that I shouldn't curse so much, that I'll never be as popular as other motivational creators. That's not why I'm here. You know, I created my TikTok to keep me from relapsing and slitting my wrists up in my crib. Because I was by myself, alone, dealing with the pandemic and different things like that, you know? And so I'm going to be myself, baby. These hoops. I'm from Brooklyn. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to be.
I love it. Now, Sakithia is Sakithia on her Instagram. She also has YouTube, and she has merch, which I'm wearing. And if you see, she's wearing my merch. So, you know, so you guys, make sure you guys go and support Sakithia. If you're not following Sakithia, I promise you, you are missing out. Make sure you go and follow her and support her content and support her with her merch. I'm telling you, her TikToks. And you know, I have an unlimited I have a lifeline to Sakithia. I talk to her, you know, I can talk to her, but the TikToks are still my favorite. I go check every morning. So thank you. We're going to go get into the news now. And the first thing we're going to talk about, since these ladies are so fired up, we're going to go ahead and talk about these Texas Democrats flying the coop in Texas. And when I must say, I knew that they were going to do something, but I just wasn't sure. And I promise you, I kept checking Saturday and Sunday. I kept checking Sunday. I kept checking because I knew that special session was starting. And I said, I know damn well these Democrats are not going to roll over and let this happen. They are going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And Monday morning when I woke up,
They
showed up
leave
and showed out.
the work.
They leave me, child. Listen, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's like the best reality show I've ever watched. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
Exactly.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? And it really, and for them to have to do such a drastic measure. I mean, look at where we are in 2021, but you know, that's what they had to do in order to make their voices heard, so to speak.
Absolutely. And Count Orange Fanta made everything about politics into a reality show. That is why it's entertaining. Yeah. It is catching the eyes of those who don't seem to like follow politics, but it's making them pay attention now.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. And I think that we're in a situation where trying to be the moral high ground is taking a back seat because Count Orange turned it into something where we like the way that he talks. He's not as all uppity. He can talk to the real American. Well, guess what? You got Texas Democrats being real American right about now, letting you know that we're going to hop on this private jet with these beer cans. And yes, that'll be paid for it because we're going to be nice and comfy. John Cornyn can go sit down because he was nice and quiet when Ted Cruz got on that plane to go to Mexico. So he can shut up about the taxpayers' dollars. Take my money, go get you a White Claw and go on the steps of DC and go fight for my rights. I don't care. You want White Claw, you want Budweiser, you want Corona, what you want? What you want? We got you.
Now, I'll tell you guys here that I was very impressed with the Democrats. I said, this is a good thing. Is it going to work? Was my next question. Is it going to work? Because they're going to have to stay out there until August. Now, I'm just going to give you a timeline of the things that have happened. So, yeah, they're going to have to stay out there till August 2nd because that's when the special session ends. So they will have to stay there. We lost Akithia. Okay, I think she'll come back. When she comes back, I'll let her in. So there she is. Okay, she came right back. Hold on, let me. There you go. Hey, Queen. Okay. So the first thing I'll tell you guys that this isn't the first time that the Texas Democrats have had to do something like this. Back in this has been going on since 18. This is like the fourth time that the Texas Democrats have had to leave to stop some type of restricting voting, some restrictive measure from happening, some restrictive legislation. So back in 1870, they did a walkout. Back in 1979, they did a walkout. And just as recently as 2003, they did a walkout because they were doing redistricting.
I remember that.
Yeah, so they have had to walk out before. So we have the first thing that happened. So they walked out. Greg Applehead Abbott decides that he wants to say that he's going to have them arrested. The next thing that happens is that we have the Speaker of the House that offered to follow. No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. So the next thing that happened was that the House Republicans actually voted so that the Democrats could be arrested, is what they said. So they could be arrested when they came back. Not go and have them arrested, go and look for them. For the Texas Rangers to actually go and look for the Democrats, okay? So the next thing that happened was the House Speaker, which is some guy named Dave. He's a Beaumont Republican. He announced that he will remove Senator Moody as the Speaker pro term, and he would remove him from all his leadership duties.
Yes, I read that.
Yes, the next thing that they did was that the Speaker of the House actually offered to send a plane after them. You know, he'll send a free plane and have them come back.
It ain't free.
Now, no, well, that's exactly. It's not free, but that's what he said.
Yeah,
so
Beto, boom, it ain't free.
Beto has actually been raising money for them. He has raised over $100,000 at this point because these Democrats work part-time and they only get paid $7,000 a year to do their job. So they've been raising money. I think one of them actually has some money because the rooms and stuff are paid for. One of them actually has money. And Then we have, that's it. But I'm going to play you this little short clip to give you a rundown as well. And then we'll talk about it. We'll dive right into it. Dang, come on, Tiffany. What is wrong with you?
Democratic lawmakers from Texas defied calls for their arrest on Tuesday, a day after fleeing the state, vowing to stay in Washington to push for voting reform. Vice President Kamala Harris praised the lawmakers, comparing their exodus to notable examples of voting rights activism in American history. Outside the Capitol on Tuesday, Texas Representative Rafael Anchia accused the state's Republican governor, Greg Abbott, of poisoning the electoral process.
We said we are going to kill any undemocratic efforts in the state legislature. And if that meant leaving the state, we were going to do it.
Abbott vowed to arrest the 50 or so lawmakers who fled on Monday after denying him the support needed to pass new voting limits in the state. The remaining members of the Texas House of Representatives voted 76-4 Tuesday morning to find and arrest the missing lawmakers, under a House rule that authorizes the chamber's sergeant-at-arms to do so. Abbott vowed to continue calling for special sessions all the way up until election next year to get the voting bill passed. Texas is among several Republican states pursuing new voting restrictions in the name of improving election security. President Joe Biden on Tuesday reiterated voting rights legislation as a national imperative, but did not outline a path to overcome Republican opposition.
Yeah, so it's getting thick. But I will remind
into
you
the thick
all,
of it.
Yeah, we are in the thick of it. I will remind you all that back in those times, back in 2003, they were successful in what they did. But Applehead Abbott has vowed to continue calling these special sessions to get his agenda passed.
He definitely will.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do it. CF, I would love for you to tell me what if there's anything else you'd like to add to this.
Yes. So he's not only saying that he would arrest them if they came back, but think about it. When you get arrested, you go to jail, right?
That's right.
He is trying to put them in the cabinet. He is trying to make sure that they are there instead of going to jail, because if they go to jail, they won't get the quorum. They will not have the quorum because they won't have the people. They won't be in the session. He is trying to kidnap Democratic leaders. That is keeping these people locked away against their will. That is kidnapping. A governor in the United States of America has threatened to use his power to kidnap allegedly 50 political leaders just so he can pass an anti-voting rights act. Yeah. Because I say anti-voting rights because he is trying to disenfranchise groups from being able to vote, to exercise voting rights. So he is trying to pass these bills that are going to disenfranchise Black and brown communities in Texas. And he is willing to kidnap political leaders just so he can do it. That should be an issue for a federal investigation and for legal purposes, allegedly.
Yeah, the word allegedly. I love how you were saying kidnap, because that's what I picked up too. Because I was like, okay, so wait a minute. They want to arrest them, but ain't nobody talk about how they going to jail. And I was like, wait a minute. So if they do arrest them, they're arresting them to bring them back. Okay, but they're not going to jail. You can't hold these people against their will.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And, he's definitely not going to stop. You're right with these special sessions. They're going to continue and to continue and to continue. That's why I'm like, what is this end game really going to look like? Are these voting restrictive laws? I mean, what are the odds of them really not being passed?
There's a strong odd. Never underestimate the will of white supremacists. Do not ever underestimate them, because he has a strong backing by racist white people.
Yes, he does.
So he does. And the Texas Democrats are now spending their time trying to lobby with these Republican, with the members of Senate, members of Congress, United States Congress. They're trying to lobby with them to try to get them to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. That's what they've been doing. They actually met with Joe Manchin yesterday. But here's the kicker about meeting with Joe Manchin. They met with Joe Manchin yesterday about abolishing the filibuster. But Joe Manchin goes today, and he's down in Texas today, having a $1,500 meeting, whatever the hell you want to call it. It costs $1,500 to get in a rally, $1,500 to get in with all these big donors down in Texas. I got to make a TikTok about it. It says, yes, Joe Manchin has his ass down here having a special event, inviting friends to meet Senator Joe Manchin. Senator Joe Manchin is the chair of the U.S. Senate of Energy and Natural Resources. That's why he's in Texas.
Who he with, ERCOT? Because we sure do need to get our air conditioners fixed.
He's with Jim Teague, Bill White, Alan Armstrong. It's a host of people. Is that he's coming down there, and they're asking, please RSVP and pay $1,500, and you can also contribute. Let's stand up for Joe, our bipartisan Senate leader for energy. So he got his musty ass out here meeting with the Democrats, trying to get rid of, saying that he wants to get rid of the filibuster. He wants to be bipartisan, but he scurried his ass on down to Texas today. I got the proof right here.
Foolishness. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Manchin. He gotta go. It's no working with Joe Manchin. They're not gonna get anything done with Joe Manchin musty stinking ass. I'm sick of it. He does this all the time.
That's the part about politics I truly hate, because you lose. There's one thing to get into politics because you want to make change, you want to impact policy, you want to make things work, but there's a trade-off. A lot of integrity goes away. A lot of people are losing themselves. You don't ever realize how much people have to trade to get things for their constituents. And people like Joe Manchin, I want to know, what did he sell? What did he give up for, because his constituents can do better, could have better? Because obviously it ain't a whole lot, because you in Texas when you should be talking to our Texas Democrats about what is happening in Texas, and you talking about energy.
Yeah. That's
when Greg Abbott is not even bothering to talk about what is happening with ERCOT out here and raising electricity bills out here. What?
Correct. It's completely disgusting. Joe Manchin is a piece of crap, and I said what I said. They need to get rid of him. Exactly. I'm sick of him. They need to get rid of Joe Manchin, because that, to me, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. When I saw that, I was like, I gotta make a TikTok about it, but that's just completely ridiculous. They're not gonna get rid of the filibuster. Yeah, they're not gonna get rid of the filibuster, but that's what that's what the Texas Dems are trying to do. They're trying to pass federal voting laws, so that way all of this shit that these states are doing will just be it'll be null and void, you know?
Right, because federal law does overpower state law for some people that don't know. There is a separation of powers between state and federal level, but the Constitution is the law of the land, and the Constitution is mainly at the federal level. So everything underneath the federal level has to cave to whatever the federal law says. You cannot have a state law that supersedes the federal law.
Correct.
You know what? It's kind of almost at the point where when you are reading what is happening or seeing what's happening, it's just kind of like, yo, now, like, they're so blatant with it, right? But you know, I feel like we already know that this is a lot of what's always been happening.
Yeah.
But now, you know, with it's 2021, things are thrust now in the forefront now more than ever. But this is what has always been happening. I mean, we are being governed off of a constitution that was written by candlelight. That's not for all people.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of almost like the changes need to start from the top, right? And then how the shit rolls downhill. So I've always said, wow, you know, we're still being governed by the Constitution that wasn't even written for all people. The change needs to start there down. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it had to be amended 27 times. I'm just saying, at this point, I mean, you need to probably start over, because clearly we still need more amendments, because it ain't working. And to Melissa, I understand you respectfully disagree, but at the same time, that's the way that our country actually works. It's the federal law above the state law.
You know, I think that if we take a lot of this donation type of crap out of this fundraising. Like I believe they were talking about Joe Biden was saying something about putting a cap on the amount that they can fundraise or something.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what they need to do, because this is what Joe Manchin is doing right now. He's focusing on fundraising instead of focusing on his constituents.
Yep.
It makes absolutely no sense. You know, the fundraising portion of it, raising money. Who can raise the most money? Like I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene raised over $5 million in the first quarter. I mean, what the hell? We don't need you. What you need all this money for? To print out some signs? I mean, I don't understand this, you know, the fundraising part of it. And that's what makes it messy, because they're trying to get all these big dollars to see who can raise the most money. But what the hell are you raising money for? Are you putting it back in the community? No. This is supposed to be used towards your campaign. Well, once you've won the campaign, why the hell are you still constantly fundraising? Like Frumpy Dump, how he's constantly fundraising. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's what takes their focus off of their constituents, is this bullshit fundraising. And I think that it's complete malarkey. You know, I don't like it. You know, I think that's what makes them do certain things for certain companies, because they get the most money. This is what makes them ignore their constituents and what the constituents need, because they're trying to please this oil person over here. They're trying to please big tech over here. They want to get $1 million from them. You know, that's the part that makes me sick, and I don't like it. But
the fact that Maconazole nitrate is able to raise $5 million, and she has been stripped of her committee power. She has not passed any single policy. She literally goes on the floor to just argue with people and have not backed any policy. She has not been a part of any policy that has had any type of meaning or any kind of force behind it. I mean, it's a good thing she hasn't, but I'm saying the fact that you are being paid to be there to pass policies for your constituents, and you can't even do that,
right?
Because you don't know how to do that. You and Lauren Baerback, I don't know her name, but whatever it is, she and the other one need to go. You just taking you are literally taking tax dollars and doing nothing with it. And the fact that the Republican Party depends solely on their constituents being stupid and willing to open their pockets goes straight to Lyndon B. Johnson when he said, if you tell the white man that they are as more important than the black man, they will not know that you are picking their pockets. They will actually give you their money. And that is all that they need.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Agreed.
It is. And you know, I'm really interested to see what's going to come out of this and the washing and the ranching with this Texas Dems. We'll see. You know, as the time goes on, we're going to be. I'm going to be watching it like a hawk, because I want to know how it's going to turn out. I'm sure we'll be talking about this for months and months to come with these special sessions. We'll be talking about this. But if you want to donate to the Texas Dems, Beto is raising money, because they do need, you know, help to be able to stay in DC and stuff. So, you know, if you want to donate to them, go ahead and do that, because this is a good cause. They need to be able to stay out there. They're away from their families. They do need to be able to do that. So Beto is raising money for them. Make sure you reach out and find out what ways that you can donate to Beto. Donate to the Texas Dems to support them. The next thing. Yeah,
that's
it is.
I'm telling you, I'm really curious to see how long. Like you said, this is going to be an ongoing conversation, you know, and I really feel like, you know, maybe a lot of states will be watching what's going on in Texas. And I'm really hoping that this is something that will possibly need to continue in other states. I don't know how many people are really looking at these voting laws or restrictions that they're putting on, you know, on how they are voting. This is like, when I was really reading and a lot of these things and going through them, like it's like time has reversed. It's crazy to me. Like, how could you agree with some of these voting restrictions that they want to go forward with? It's insane to me.
It is insane. So we'll just have to watch and see what happens. We're going to move on and discuss. They have something that this is very important to Charles in Charge, Chuck Schumer. I believe it's important to him, because I believe he be getting a little toked on his free time. I don't know. But Charles in Charge came out and announced that announced on the floor that he will use his clout to make legislation of ending the prohibition on marijuana a top priority. So I want you to see what he had to say and how happy he was to be up there with Cory Booker and Ron Wyden. He was very excited to be up there. So let's take a look at it.
We are all joining together to release draft legislation to end the federal prohibition on cannabis. This is monumental because at long last, we are taking steps in the Senate to right the wrongs of the failed war on drugs. I was the first Democratic leader to come out for the legalization of marijuana, and I will use my clout as majority leader to make this a priority.
This is a historic day. This is the first time in American history the majority leader of the United States Senate is leading the call to end prohibition of marijuana.
It's not just an idea whose time has come, it's long overdue. We have all seen the agony of a young person arrested with a small amount of marijuana. Tougher to get a job, tougher to get credit, tougher to live a normal life. If they had a small amount of marijuana in their possession, people shouldn't have to live with a criminal record the rest of their lives. Expunge those records. And we are going to change it. We are going to fight hard to change it. And America is on our side. 70% of Americans now support legalizing adult use of marijuana. We also want to make sure that there's a fair administration and that smaller businesses and communities of color are not left out as marijuana is legalized and sold across the country.
So yeah. They're ready to get rid of marijuana. They have estimated 40,000 Americans are in jail due to weed-related offenses. So not only that, they're going to be getting rid of, trying to get some of these people out of jail, get rid of some of these low-level drug offense crimes, and I think that's a very good thing. They're going to be taking the tax money that they make on it, because obviously they're going to be able to sell it at that point. They said they'll be taking the taxes on it and reinvesting it in America. We'll see if that happens. But I would love to know what you think about that, Sakithia.
At the end of the day, it's still states are still allowed like their own marijuana laws when it comes down to it. I appreciate, like what he's saying. I appreciate the movement. I feel like from a recovering drug addict myself, even though it just wasn't marijuana, but from a recovering drug addict myself, I do know what it's like dealing with the courts. I have sat back and watched others get different opportunities that we don't get. We all don't get an opportunity in drug court to go to rehab. We all didn't get an equal opportunity to get drug counseling. Some went in the back door in cuffs, and then other was crying and going to the left. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate what he's saying. Let's keep it a stack. We do know that what community has been affected the most by this. So, these changes I'm definitely looking forward to. I am really curious about them expunging people's records, releasing people from jail. I don't know about you all's family, but with my family, we do have family members that have spent 15 to 20 behind bars. Some are still behind bars for what I guess Chuck is saying, a little bit of weed, maybe an ounce, two. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really curious on, how this is really going to go rolling downhill, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for somebody who has had to be involved, with drugs and the state and the law, you know what I'm saying? I'm just really curious on how it's going to go and if really they mean what they say and how these individual states are going to handle this.
I agree. CF?
Well, y'all know Texas is gonna be the last one, so y'all gonna pray for us over here. Pray for us over here, because I am for the legalizing of marijuana for several reasons. One, I think Black people should be able to start turning profits off it right out the gate. I think it should be included as a form of reparations, because the profits the profits that come from marijuana right now that are benefiting non-Black communities, while the majority of people in jail for marijuana charges are Black people, we should be getting some reparations for these people coming out. They shouldn't just have their records expunged. They should be having some kind of payback, because this is it is insane for this drug to still be illegal anywhere in this country. When there are people like, do y'all remember the Charlotte's Web story? How they took a strain of marijuana and helped this young girl who had seizures, and they had this whole marijuana farm, and they had the recreational part and they had the medical part, and how they made millions of dollars. And I'm like, Black people are still going to jail behind this. And I understand, and I think that is great what they did, but this country is hell-bent on incarcerating Black people for free labor. Since they started convict leasing. My problem is, if you are going to expunge Black people's records, if you are going to give marijuana a chance to be made legal, what are you going to prevent from happening moving forward to Black people? What is going to be the next thing? Because you had the war on drugs. You changed it to benefit non-Black communities so they can get opioids to help them with their pain. And you were resistant against giving Black people pain medication. And then that was a kick in the butt for you. But now you're trying to see, oh, well, drugs shouldn't be criminalized because it's now impacting non-Black communities. Maybe we should go ahead and legalize it. What happens when like I said, I am for legalizing marijuana. I am just saying that there's a lot of pain and suffering that has happened into the Black community, that you don't just owe them their freedom. You don't just owe them their expunged records. You owe them restitution. You owe these families because you don't have, where's going to be their opportunities to get jobs moving forward? You can expunge a record, but they're going to get asked, well, where were you the last 20 years? Where were you the last 15 years? Where you going to get your job experience? That part is important to me as well. So I applaud what Chuck Schumer is doing. Go ahead, Charles. Go ahead, do your thug dizzle. But think about the other aspects that are impacting Black people's lives while you're legalizing this, because somebody said in the comment section, it is going to be a huge profit for a lot of fraternity boys that are not a part of the Divine Nine. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely. It definitely, here in Virginia, with it being sold in stores, the full legalization wasn't supposed to take place until 2024, but they pushed it up just on July the 16th. Right now, I can go in my corner store, and not only can I get Delta 8, but I can also get Delta 9 right now.
Whoa.
Right up the street. You know what I'm saying?
What is that? What's that Delta 8 and Delta 9? Is that reefer?
Huh?
What's Delta 8 and Delta 9? What's that?
The simple fact that you said reefer, I'm gonna call you on the phone later. Okay. But Delta 9 actually has the percentage of THC. We actually also have a shop now that just opened 2 weeks ago that you can buy actual cannabis flower. Like you can make these purchases now. But where I live in a historical neighborhood, right? So the urban neighborhood is several blocks away from here. That's not popping over there. They have already opened up 2 of these shops already in my neighborhood. So how were they able to open this shop and now start selling, even though, yes, it was legal July the 16th, but like for distribution in a store? You know what I'm saying? Like how did that happen? And that's not happening in the hood. That hasn't happened yet, but it's happening over here in the neighborhood that I live in. You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying about Chuck, I appreciated, what he said. That was beautiful. People of color, all that other stuff. But like you said, somebody who has been, my cousin, who's been in prison for a hot 15. Now, when he comes out, okay, well, now you're free. Well, what the hell is he going to do now? He been gone for 15. What is the support that is going to be there for him now after he's done these 15?
Right.
Correct. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to go, I think it'll pass in the House. I don't know about the Senate. The Senate has been kind of, yeah. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm with both of these ladies when they discuss, what's gonna, where they're going to go from there. You know, what are you going to do with this money that you're going to be making from it? I'm with both of them. I agree with both of their sentiments. We're going to move on here because I want to get to it. Okay. Let's get to Lee Merritt, and then the last thing we'll discuss. Yeah,
all right.
I'm going to discuss Lee Merritt, and we're going to try to keep it brief because I want to get to Richard Sherman. We got to get to that, and I know CF don't got to go or something, don't you? Do you have time to run over? Okay,
I got time.
Okay, so because I want to make sure we get to those last two subjects, which was Lee Merritt and Richard Sherman. So Keith, you ain't got nothing to do. Okay, anyway,
I'm just chilling.
So Lee Merritt is running for Texas Attorney freaking General. You guys, when I saw his campaign video, when I tell you it gave me chills, especially the last part, and I got it right here so we can listen to it, so we can look at it. Check this out.
My name is Lee Merritt, and I'm a civil rights attorney. And right now, my phone never stops ringing.
Good afternoon, Lee Merritt, on behalf of the family of Ahmaud Arbery.
This is the family of Ronald Green in Louisiana. We just met with the district attorney, with the family of both and John. These terrible tragedies across our state, our country, if we don't step up to respond, to save lives, to protect the people, no one will. I've seen the injustice of mass incarceration up close, in my own family, in my community. Look, there could be thousands and thousands of civil rights attorneys with thousands and thousands of phones, and they still never stop ringing. That's why I'm running for Texas Attorney General, because we all have a responsibility to uphold the Constitution, so everyone is afforded equal rights under the law. But here in Texas, our Attorney General,
he, of course, rationally, is joining the Rudy Giuliani Unleash the Kraken Brigade of ridiculous lawsuits trying to overturn the presidential election.
For the most part, they were peaceful people.
He's betrayed his oath. He's been indicted by a grand jury, prosecuted people for showing up to the polls, and pledged his allegiance to Donald Trump. That's the only person he's picking up the phone for. Not the people of Texas, not the victims of violent crime or police brutality, not our neighbors who froze to death, not those who are simply trying to exercise their right to vote. And the only way to change this, the only way, is to change who we elect. Because when I'm Attorney General, I'll only answer when the people call.
Calling Lee Merritt, baby. What? You only answer when the people call. We calling Lee. We calling you.
Listen.
I love this campaign video. I was very impressed with it. I've always been impressed with Lee Merritt. I like him much better than Benjamin Crump, but I digress. I really like Lee Merritt. I feel like he's always genuine, and he works with his gusto and his heart, and I can appreciate him. Now, one thing I didn't find though, and I want to ask you ladies, were you able to find it? Because I was trying to find it, and they weren't in the video, so I don't think it is. Lee Merritt might be single. Is Lee Merritt single? Because I never found a wife.
Child, I was married. I don't know about unmarried men.
Look, I'm married, but I still want to know, is the man married? That's a very important thing.
Oh, I don't know. I'm here about him with his stance. That's what I am for, because let me tell y'all something. Over here in Texas, we is struggling, or have you not heard the word? I am just saying, we got somebody underneath criminal federal investigation as our Attorney General at this moment. Ken Paxton, I need him to go away. Far away. So I am here for Lee Merritt, but I want to make sure, I want to address Black voters for a moment, because I have been waiting all day to go here with Double D Mother about this topic on Lee Merritt. Let me explain something. We are not looking for Jesus to run for Attorney General. We are not looking for the holier than thou to run for the Attorney General. We are looking for a politician to do what it is that we need to get done. So we should not be looking for somebody to be the perfect person to be in office. He is running against a criminal, somebody who is currently under investigation. He has the backing. He has the education. He has the experience. Look to those only. Do not look at all of this other stuff that people like to throw in when it comes to looking for a candidate. Stop looking for perfect people. Let me tell you something. I would vote for Cardi B over than some of these people that's out here running. If you are looking for these perfect candidates, I need y'all to focus. I need my people to focus on what the task at hand is. We need to put our money and our support behind a candidate that is going to do for our community. And this man has been proving time and time again that he's going to stand up for Black people. He may not do it the way that you like it, but he is constantly out here on the forefront standing up for Black people. I have seen it time and time again. When it was Sumerian out here in Plano, Texas, when they forced that child to drink urine, he was out here fighting for that child too. Most people don't remember that, but that happened earlier this year. And they were still fighting for that little boy. And Lee Merritt was out there. I am telling you, we deserve better. We deserve better. And that whole little phrase, oh, well, you're voting for him because he's Black, and what? A Black qualified man. Let's get him in there.
About that. Yeah, I'm unapologetic about that. I completely agree with you. I like how you broke that down to say, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, just like with celebrities or whatever, we can't expect all of these people to be perfect. You understand what I'm saying? And looking for that perfect person that has never been divorced. Was this brother doing that? Is this brother doing? They human. You know what I'm saying? They are human. But the work that he has been doing, has constantly been doing, let that work speak for him. That's what it comes down to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, being Black. And if somebody says, well, are you voting for him because he's Black? Yes. And what he's also done, his track record. Yes. Because I feel like when it comes down to change, we do need people that are representing all the people in the pool. And that is me. And I am Black. You know what I'm saying? In case nobody can see that. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you know, I definitely hope that is a message that everybody receives, that, you know, stop looking for that perfect person. Look for what he has done, what he is capable of doing, and what he's doing going forward.
I agree.
Second and third that.
I agree. I agree with both of you all. I believe that Lee Merritt is very capable of doing the job. I believe that he's very much more capable than Ken Paxton.
Come on, Jesus.
I mean, we could elect a puppy and a bulldog before we elect Ken Paxton. But he's going to have an uphill battle in Texas, unfortunately.
Most definitely.
And people are just sick and tired of Ken Paxton and his bullshit. They're really going to have an uphill battle in Texas, but I believe he can do it. I believe that he's a strong enough candidate to do it. I believe he'll have the backing of the Democrat Party, and that will definitely help him. And I also think that he will do some really good work when he becomes Attorney General. I wholeheartedly believe that, not only just for Black people. I feel like he'll do good work as far as, because he said that was a premise of him running, is that he wants to work on voting rights in addition to fixing Texas failing power grid, and then reining in of soaring property taxes, ending mass incarceration, and challenging the we're gonna skip that because I don't know what it is. But anyway, but I think that he would be a very good candidate, a very good attorney general. I really feel like he's capable, he's qualified. He went to Morehouse, very educated, very esteemed person. He's gonna be very, very good. Especially, this is gonna be a step up from what your asses have now. So come on, Texas. Let's get it.
Texas, I need y'all to get it together, and I need Lee Merritt to pick up the phone and call Julian Castro and Beto O'Rourke and tell them to get in the race, because we are tired. We need all of them. We need them all.
I'm worried about Beto not running. I think that I don't know if he's going to, because he's been doing a lot of helping when things come up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really wondering, is he gonna run?
Maybe I don't know, but he has been on the ground speaking in rural areas. He may not have, he's been on the ground. Like, he is all over TikTok, going to smaller towns, doing town hall meetings. He is really getting in the faces of the people. And I really feel like he has not announced, but there's a strong chance that he may. And I really hope that him and Julianne Castro get on the same ticket, because I want it. I want it. I'm tired.
You want him for the lieutenant governor. You want to get rid of Dan Patrick.
The one that said, say goodbye to Meemaw because COVID is here and it's okay for the elderly to die. That one. He needs to go too.
I can't.
That one.
I can't. Well, we'll definitely be watching. You guys, make sure you go and support Lee. again, support these candidates that you really feel like will run, because I mean, who you want to see in office, because these Republicans are putting their money where their mouth is.
Yes, they are.
They're giving their last pennies and pentos to support Frumpy Dump and anybody that Frumpy Dump endorses. So we need to do the same for the people who we want to see in office. So that way they don't outraise them. Now I saw this in South Carolina where Jamie Harrison, he actually outraised Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham still won.
He cried on television.
Yeah, he did. He cried. On television, but
they're just trying to outdo
we need
me.
to really support our candidates if we can. $5, $5 goes a long way.
Listen, baby, if you can pay your tithes, you can do that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the last subject that we'll talk about, and I'm going to open the floor for any questions. If you all have any questions, please make sure that you put them in the chat. I would love to see them. The last thing that we're going to talk about here is Richard Sherman. Now, Richard Sherman here, this is a really sticky situation for me, guys. So on Wednesday, Richard Sherman is a free agent right now. And it's something going on with this guy, and I'm really concerned at this point. I don't know what's going on up there, but I think that something's going on. So Richard Sherman was arrested. He's a football player, and he was arrested early Wednesday after police said he crashed his car in a construction zone along a busy highway east of Seattle, and then turned to break into his in-laws' home in the suburbs. So I want to show you guys now, before he tried to break into the house, his wife, because he's married, she called 911. And I want you all to listen to the 911 call here, and we're just going to listen to a little bit of it to see the reaction, see what you guys think about this 911 dispatcher that I think needs to be fired.
911, what are you reporting?
I need officers to my house now. My husband is drunk and threatening to kill himself.
Stop. What's the address? Are there any weapons? Stop.
There's no guns. I'm saying there are no weapons, ma'am. There are no weapons.
You need to stop interrupting me so I can get the information I need to get officers expedited.
I need officers here now.
What's he doing that you think he's going to harm himself?
He's being aggressive. He has sent text messages. I took the keys out. They're in your car. He's trying to leave now in the house. He's being aggressive. He's wrestling with my uncle. He's threatening to kill himself. He has sent text messages to people saying he's going to hang himself. He's saying that if the police show up, so please don't shoot is what I'm asking.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
He has no weapon.
He says if the police show up,
he said if the police show up, that he'll try to fight them. So they need to understand that he is.
Okay. Has it been physical with anybody there? You said he's trying to fight your uncle?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
How has it been physical?
He just tried to fight him.
Okay, trying to fight somebody and actually being physical is two different things. How has it been physical?
It's a 2016 black Mercedes. Richard, please stop. Richard, please stop. Please stop.
Is that a sedan, a SUV?
It's just a black sedan Mercedes SUV.
Okay.
He's not going to be able to get out the gate. I cut it off.
What do you mean you cut it off?
I cut the gate. We live behind it. It's Richard Sherman. Like, ma'am, this is like a emergency. I need officers here now.
Listen to me. I'm handling this. You need to stop telling me that.
Okay, but what I'm
not going to slow help down. Talking to me is not going to slow help down.
Okay, well, what I need to know is that he.
What's your name?
My name is Ashley Sherman.
Do you know what his date of birth is?
3/30/88.
Okay, slow down so I can understand you. What's the date of birth?
March 30th, 1988.
Ciao.
The first thing that was telling about that 911 call to me is the fact that she had to ask for her husband not to be shot. Make sure they know that he doesn't have a weapon, because I don't want him to be shot. The fact that she had to say that.
Yes.
should really resonate in your mind, that what goes through Black people's mind when they have to call the police on someone. Let me reiterate to the police that he does not have a weapon so that he doesn't get gunned down. I need your help. I need you to come out here and do your job, but I don't need you to kill my husband. That was the first thing that stood out to me. The next thing, that damn operator need to be fired because she done lost her rabbit ass.
Listen, child, when I very first heard this, I was screaming. Okay, number one, this is what we know. Just like with 911 dispatchers, almost basically any like call job that you have, it is important for you to control the call. I completely understand that. I get the premise of call control. But you ask these questions, she's answering you. She's answering your questions. You're talking over top of her and then gonna say, well, hold on, I'm doing this. Let me tell you something. I know that we have all had an opportunity, you know, maybe to call 911. And like I said, I know that call control is very important so the dispatcher can make sure that they're getting all of the proper information. But talking over top of the person that is calling, being combative, because I don't know if you all had an opportunity to listen to another 911 call that was made, I guess by her uncle. That call was completely different. That dispatcher handled the situation completely different, had a different type of call control, reassured them that help was on the way. This first lady didn't even say, yo, help is on the way, bitch, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't feel that she handled it properly. And what you're saying about having to say to the dispatcher that he does not have a weapon. You also heard her say that he's saying that he's going to make the police fight him, that he's going to hang himself. See, that's where we get back into the defunding situation. See, it's not about defunding the police because we don't want the police. I suffer from mental health. I have mental health issues. When the police, when 911 was called for me, there was no mental health assistance that came here for me. Who came here for me was 11 police officers, a fire truck, and an ambulance. That's who came here for me. No mental health aid came here for me. When she's saying that he's saying he's going to hang himself, that additional help would be needed because obviously something is going on with the brother. But that's not who comes. See, the police come. And so we have to prepare ourselves to let the police know, I don't got no weapon. I'm not trying to die today. I'm having some type of crisis here. But that's not how they look at it.
Mm-hmm. So, Colorful, you got anything on that?
So this is my first time hearing that. And I just wanted to cuss. So I'm glad you went first, because the first thing out of my mouth would have been something completely unholy and not of this earth. I am like literally pissed right now because listening to her calling for help and the way that she was spoken to, like you said, she didn't control that call at all. She was in her feelings. Look, if you needed to pass the phone to the next person to you, maybe you should have done that. But your job is dealing with people and emergencies. No matter how aggressive, no matter how stupid, no matter how outrageous it is, you are still there to help people in the middle of what they deem is an emergency. Mm-hmm. Now, the second thought I had was like you guys, which was defund the police. Defund the damn police. Because ain't no way her thought should have been, please don't kill my husband. Mm-hmm. Please don't kill my husband. He doesn't have a weapon. He is threatening to fight the police. When they catch him, don't kill my husband. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I have called the police one time in my 3 decades of life, and that was to help revive my firstborn. And you know who they called to help me? The EMS. Because I didn't have a number to the EMS, I had to call the police. Mm-hmm. I need them to start giving numbers to professionals who know how to deal with people who are going through something that the police are not designed to help. Today it was revealed that the police are allowed to lie to people. And there had to be a law in Illinois to get them to not lie, to coerce children underneath the age of 18. Damn the people over 18, but the people under 18, there's a law that now protects them that says the police can't lie to children to coerce them into saying that they committed a crime. Because the police are allowed to lie to get people to coerce them into
you shouldn't be
committing a
able to
crime.
do that. You shouldn't be able to do that to anybody. If you don't have the DNA back, and you don't really have the DNA back, and you know people will confess to shit just to get, they thinking they're gonna get out of the situation. That's a scary ass fucking thing to be in that room and get interrogated by the cops. So you shouldn't be able to lie to anybody to get them to confess to what you want them to confess to. Because how many people do we know? And I'm gonna bring this back to this man in Arkansas that was executed in 2017, and they come back with the DNA. They didn't test the DNA. Come back with the DNA this year. CF, the man did not do it. His DNA was not on the weapon. So they executed this man in 2017. They executed this man in 2017, a black man in Arkansas. They was trying to get rid of all of the drugs that they were using the drugs before they expired. You see what I'm saying? So they were executing people like left and right at that point in Arkansas. And so they executed this man. And he was begging for a DNA test. The ACLU was involved. All of them was trying to get them to test this DNA on this murder weapon. They would not do it. After they executed the man, the ACLU, his mother and his girlfriend kept pursuing this DNA. So they finally released it where they tested the DNA. Guess what? His DNA was nowhere. They
murdered an innocent man.
It murdered an innocent man.
But how many more black men are being released after 20 and 30 years every single day? It's out in the news that men are being released for not committing crimes that they've been accused of. And there has been no real restitution. They claim, there has been a few $1 million there. But what about the prosecutor? What about the police officers? What about the sheriffs? What about all these people who were behind this? To keeping these men and putting them in jail? I don't call the police for the very same reason that she probably didn't want to call the police, because her husband's life was in danger.
Correct.
Yeah,
her uncle. It wasn't just her husband either. It was her uncle's life in danger.
And her uncle's life, because the uncle made the second call. I don't know if you all have heard that second one. The uncle made the second call, which sounded different. And CF, I want to jump on something that you said that really stuck out to me. Like when you said that you called the police and then the police transferred you to EMT, the emergency services. And so just to give everyone a jump now, again, I live in Virginia, so it could be different, but just to give everybody kind of like a bird's eye in Virginia and what is happening when you're having a mental health crisis and you call 911. They left me with I guess a resource to call, but they didn't bring anybody with them. They didn't bring anybody with them. They didn't say, okay, well, let's dispatch these people to come from mental health services. They didn't do that. That's why I think I talk about mental health so much, because here in our city, the amount of people that are homeless, that have mental health issues, that are schizophrenic, so on and so forth, they collect them and they arrest them.
Yep.
And then from there, then they go to court on that Monday or 2 days later. And then they're not putting them in any type of mental health services. They're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, unless you have the mental fortitude yourself to try to get the help that you need, or the resources, or do the work that you need to find the resources that you need, when the police come, I feel like when the police come, if it's not a situation where police force needs to be used, they should be able to call other resources to come to help, and so those things are sticking out to me, like what she said about don't murder him. He's saying he wants to hang himself. These are all, these should be all factors of saying, hey, we need the police to come, but we also need these people to come too. That's the changes that I'm looking for to happen, with the police, especially with mental health issues as well.
Right. There needs to be the word defund the police. The word defund is what scares people. It's kind of like CF with critical race theory. They get it's just the two words, critical race that scares them. Those two things put together, it scares them. Same thing with defund. It doesn't mean get rid of all police.
No,
it doesn't
abolish.
mean
Abolish means
abolish
get rid of the police.
Exactly. We're not saying that. We're saying take some of those resources that you're investing into the police and put that into mental health services, put that into some social work, child protective services. So when you calling the police on a child, you can have someone from social work or child protective services come out there instead of have the police come with guns drawn and shoot a damn child in 2 seconds.
And here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. They may have a problem with defunding the police, but they don't have a problem with defunding education every year.
Correct.
They don't have a problem with defunding teachers' pay. They don't have they don't have a problem with defunding the mental health institutes out here. They don't have a problem with defunding free aid to the homeless. They don't have a problem with defunding food that helps children during the summer. They don't have a problem with defunding any type of help from social services whatsoever, but they will fund the police. And my thing is, we're paying billions of dollars to the police, yet crime is still a thing.
Baby,
are we getting a return on our investment? What exactly are they doing? Come on now. So we just throwing money down the drain. Last time I checked, certain groups don't like to throw away money. These are the same people that talk about let's give the police more money. Why are you wasting money if they're not sitting up there doing what they're supposed to be doing? They're not even protecting and serving anymore. They made sure that they took it off the vehicles because they don't protect and serve.
Hello.
I need them to get it together. Defund the police. Send it to somewhere else where it's going to get some better use. Get rid of some of these food deserts in some of these neighborhoods. Get rid of child homelessness. Get child poverty. Get some books out here to deal with the literacy because the average American reads on a 7th and 8th grade level. Come on now.
Hallelujah, come through. Hallelujah, Yankee Doodle. I ain't got nothing to add to that. Come on now.
I don't either, honey. She wants you to the church.
Sometimes we gotta go there. Y'all just don't know. There's only one police officer who I can get with, and that is the one that lived in my neighborhood, who had a daughter that allowed me to play with, who knew everybody in our neighborhood and policed like he lived in the neighborhood he policed in. And that is exactly what he did. And he treated everybody humanely. That is the only respect I have for one police officer. I don't respect none of them. None of them. Oh, so reformed slave catchers.
So we don't have look. Well, damn. Oh, we have a question. I'm sorry. Does the police have a quota for arrest and convictions, which makes them want to lie and coerce? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I can't remember what interview I saw. A police officer was actually admitting that not only do they have a quota, but when they're not meeting their quota, like, for example, in my neighborhood, I don't really see a lot of police in my neighborhood. But when I go to visit some of my friends that live in their urban neighborhood, I mean, they're patrolling and the people in that neighborhood and in that area know that at a certain time each month that there's going to be a higher police presence. And the reason why that is because when the police are not able to meet their quota, see, then they go where they feel the shit is. And then this is where they go to meet their quota. In my neighborhood, like I said, in the historic neighborhood that I live in, the police don't patrol up and down this area, honey. You know what I'm saying? I live in what's called Old Southwest, which is in a historic neighborhood in Roanoke, Virginia, and they do not police this area. But over in Northwest, which is the urban area in my city, there's a particular time of the month that I don't go over there because I already know what time it is. I mean, they know it by clockwork when there's extra police officers just stopping and asking you what you're doing. They're pulling you over for that third brake light being out, or they're pulling you over because your headlight or your tag cover is too shaded. You know what I'm saying? They're meeting those quotas over in the black and brown neighborhood.
So yes, they do have their quotas, and they usually do it around at the end of the month. They be ready to get that. They be ready to get that money, honey. So I just stay out of the street. But
they already got a budget. But okay,
exactly. But so we've hit our questions. Well, that one question that we do have now, y'all know this is the segment of the show where I get the bag. Well, I get to ask you all where's my thing? Oh, there it is. I get the bag. If you want to help me tip our guest, because my guest will get a small tip because I ain't got no money. My guest will get a small tip. I don't tell people about the tip because I want to know that they're coming here to hang out with me and not just coming here because they go get a tip. But if you all want to help me tip my guests and give them a really good tip and also help improve my broadcast, please Venmo or Cash App me. You can Venmo me at Double D Mobile 85, and you can Cash App me at Tiffany C Jones 85 on Cash App. You guys, please make sure you send in your tips if you would like to help me improve my broadcast. And also, if you enjoyed the broadcast, $2 or $3 ain't gonna hurt you. Just go ahead and send that right on over. Now I'm through begging. Okay. Thank you all Thank you, ladies, for coming on to the show. I really appreciate you all. Both of you were wonderful as usual. CF Story, we'll have you back in a few weeks. Yeah, in a few weeks. And Sakithia, thank you so much for coming on. You were a breath of fresh air, and I really appreciate you. I knew you was gonna come in and do well, but I mean, you did some research and everything, coming through and talking out.
Look, I know I be with the hee-hee-haws and the motivation, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok. That is a piece of myself that I show, but I believe that, you know, we're living in a time. First of all, I'm Black, just in case you forgot. So, you know, I can't act like the things that are happening or that have been happening don't affect me. Don't affect my family, don't affect my friends. You know what I'm saying? So even though I may not speak on it, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok, baby, but best believe I always have my finger on the pulse. You know what I'm saying? The girl got a finger on the pulse. Know that. You know what I'm saying?
You did a wonderful job, and I'm so proud of you, and thank you for coming, because y'all, her ass was nervous and everything. But she did a wonderful job.
You got to sit up here like you doing things, girl. I got to get with you so I can get on your level. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, she do it.
I'm trying to get me a little backdrop stand. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have this real nice. This is gonna be good after a little while.
Put it on your
Amazon wish list.
Amazon wish list, baby. Okay, I'm gonna have to come through for you. Put it on your Amazon. Listen, because you doing things, and like I said, you know, it is okay for us to be inspired by each other. I just love, you know, what both of you all are doing. You definitely inspire me, you know what I'm saying, to be the best me that I can be. And that's what it's all about. You did.
Well, I did. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure you guys go and support CF Story. Follow her. Also, Sakithia, follow her on her platforms. Thank you all for coming out, and you all have a good day. This is going to play a video, and you guys can end your thing. Thank y'all so much. And send me your Cash App, CF, because I don't think I still have it. Sakithia, I have yours. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one.